What's good? It's your man Hurricane telling you what it do, and we about to talk about stupidity. And a man named Dietrich Bonhoeffer is going to break down why stupidity is greater than evil. Let's go.
Dietrich Bonhoeffer, born in February 1906, was a German Lutheran pastor, neo-Orthodox theologian, anti-Nazi dissident, and resistance fighter. For years, he tried to change minds. He spoke out against growing hatred, blind obedience, and the way people turned a blind eye to the cruelty happening around them. He believed that if he could just make them see, just make them understand, they would wake up. But no matter how much evidence he presented, no matter how clear the truth was, people refused to listen. One evening, after years of resisting the regime, he returned home to find his father waiting for him with a heavy heart. Two men were in his room. They had come to take him away.
His father got his son locked up. That shit crazy. Knowing that he's out here trying to fight for the good of the people. The people turn their back on him, even his own family. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, this is what he went through.
Locked in a prison cell, Bonhoeffer had nothing but time to think. He had watched his country, once a land of poets and thinkers, descend into a mob of cowards and criminals. He had seen friends, neighbors, even intellectuals surrender their morality, not because they were all evil, but because they had stopped thinking. And then he realized the real enemy wasn't malice. It was stupidity. There were reasons he considered this a greater threat than evil, which I will now discuss. Evil, according to Bonhoeffer, can be confronted. It can be exposed, fought, and even defeated. There is always a way to resist it because at its core, evil knows what it is. Even the worst of people deep down recognize that what they are doing is wrong. This is why evil carries within itself the seed of its own destruction. It leaves behind a sense of unease, a lingering guilt that can be exploited and overturned. But stupidity? Stupidity is immune. Immune to logic, blind to reason, and deaf to truth. It does not engage, it simply refuses to see. You can argue with a malicious person, but you cannot argue with a stupid one, because they do not recognize facts. They dismiss them. They do not debate. They mock. And most dangerously, they are utterly convinced of their own rightness. This is what makes stupidity more dangerous than malice. Malice can be countered, but stupidity is impervious. Martin Luther King Jr. said something very similar. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. The most terrifying aspect of stupidity is that it often operates unconsciously. People who act foolishly do not even realize it. They believe they are right. They cling to their views with such certainty that no argument, no evidence, no rational explanation can shake them. Instead of questioning their beliefs, they double down, becoming even more rigid. As Mark Twain famously said, never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. We have all encountered...
Yes, I stopped arguing with Christians because you can't battle facts with faith.
Different kinds of stupid people who use dismissive slogans whenever we try to engage with them. They say things like whatever or I don't care, their way of avoiding the reality of their own stupidity. It is frustrating, much like dealing with a narcissist, because they will never change. But the danger of stupidity extends beyond the individual level. It spreads within society like a sickness. It infiltrates groups, movements, and systems that demand obedience. The power of one depends on the stupidity of the many. This is why mass stupidity so often accompanies rising authoritarianism. People do not lose their intelligence. They surrender it. They give up their independence in exchange for belonging. They stop thinking critically.
They surrender their intelligence. They give up.
And start repeating whatever they are told. And once a person has surrendered their mind, there is no limit to what they can be made to do. They will commit evil and never see it as evil. They will spread lies and call it truth. They will destroy lives, convinced they are on the right side of history. This is why stupidity is not just frustrating, it is dangerous. It is a weapon in the hands of those who know how to use it.
And to me personally, I think stupidity must be eradicated along with evil. Yes, that's my opinion. Yes, I said it.
Perhaps the most chilling realization? You cannot fix it with reason. To combat it, we must first understand the true nature of stupidity.
Probably the most common question that I'm asked as a professor at Hillsdale is, what happened to my country?
Stupidity does not question itself. It does not feel doubt or shame. It moves forward with absolute confidence, and in doing so, it becomes an unstoppable force in service of whatever it has chosen to follow. Bonhoeffer saw this firsthand. He lived in a nation once known for its poets and philosophers, Germany, the land of Goethe, Kant, and Beethoven. And yet he watched as it turned into a nation of cowards and criminals. He saw ordinary people, many of them intelligent and educated, surrender their ability to think and instead blindly follow the Nazi regime. This is why Bonhoeffer argued that stupidity is not an intellectual defect but a moral one. A person can be brilliant in thought yet utterly foolish in action. Consider Martin Heidegger, one of the greatest philosophers of the 20th.
Right. Motherfucking have all this crazy knowledge from high school and college, but be stupid as fuck when it comes to taking care of themselves in the hood, or like in the street, or just Just taking care of yourself in general. Like motherfucker like don't know about finances or spatial awareness, self-awareness.
Century, who, despite his intellect, pledged loyalty to the Nazi Party and remained unrepentant until his death in 1976. He was smart, but he was also deeply stupid, as according to Bonhoeffer. By contrast, a person can be intellectually slow, yet...
Right, you can be smart like a motherfucker, be like, yes, I got all these degrees, kundala, and still be dumb enough to motherfucking vote for a president that is major energy and gas bill high.
Profoundly wise, moral, and kind. Intelligence and wisdom are not the same. Stupidity, as Bonhoeffer saw it, is not a lack of intelligence. It is a failure of moral courage. And one is not born stupid. One becomes stupid. How that happens?
Right. You're not born stupid, you become stupid. Through indoctrination, the religion, your fucking crazy ass, dumb, stupid parents. It's crazy. And I think I woke up at the age of 5 for a reason. Because everybody around me is a bunch of fucking retards.
Happens is what I will discuss next. Stupidity is a state of mind that arises when a person surrenders their responsibility to think. It is not an inborn trait.
You hear that? Stupidity arises when you give up your responsibility to think. It's like, fuck it. I'm going with the government paradigm, the religious paradigm, the society paradigm. Fuck it. You know? Gave up.
But a transformation. A condition that people allow themselves to fall into. This transformation is not merely personal. It is social. Stupidity thrives in groups, where independent thought is discouraged, where people simply follow orders, conform, and submit to prevailing narratives without question. Bonhoeffer observed how the Nazi regime...
Y'all submit to the narratives without question. Put on the mask. Take the lethal injection. Just for them to come out and say the mask don't work. The vaccine don't work. But yet there's still commercials telling you to take the shit. And there's still people out here wearing a fucking mask. Y'all have gave up y'all ability to think. And y'all still say, Jesus is coming. We're living the end of days. I got a personal relationship with an invisible person that I can't even see. They be like... And they same excuse is, you breathe in air, can you see it? And all that bullshit. I'm like, man, y'all retarded.
Regime turned ordinary people into unthinking followers. They were not inherently evil, nor were they necessarily unintelligent. But they stopped.
Yeah, and it's like, but you're not, there's some people that follow this bullshit narrative and they're not evil at all, but y'all stupid because y'all following government that don't care about you. They killing us through the food, through the water, through the air, through disease. And y'all care about fucking religion that's taking your money, fucking your wife and your kids. Think about it. The church in the hood balling while the hood's still suffering more and more and more until the church leave because there's no more money in the hood because they took it all.
Questioning. They let go of their ability to discern truth from falsehood. They became tools of a greater agenda. Bonhoeffer described this phenomenon as almost a sociological law. A similar transformation was depicted by George Orwell in 1984, where Big Brother brainwashed people to the point of limiting their very thoughts. The regime did not...
Yeah. And the movie Equilibrium. They took away the ability for you to have any emotions. And Minority Report, we got the pre-crime. You know what I'm saying? It's all about control. And when it comes to what's going on now, when it comes to the government, they need stupid people because stupid people are the consumers.
Just control their actions. It made them stupid so they could no longer think properly. Bonhoeffer made the same observation. When power rises, stupidity spreads. Under the influence of authority, whether political or ideological, many people willingly relinquish their inner independence. They accept the slogans, the propaganda, the oversimplified explanations, and they no longer see the world for what it is. And this is where stupidity becomes most dangerous. It is stubborn, yet passive. The stupid person does not think for themselves, yet they are fiercely convinced they are right.
Right. The stupid person do not think for themselves, but they're totally convinced themselves that they are right. You know, stupidity is a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But some motherfuckers think I'm stupid for going at the government, for going at this platform that is taking away our free speech every motherfucking day. Some motherfucker called me stupid for calling out the injustice that the government and the cops and the feds and the corporations have put upon my people and the rest of the goddamn country that is barely scrambling and scraping to survive in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? We live in idiocracy. This shit is becoming real, man.
Confronted with facts or logic, they do not reconsider. They resist. You are not dealing with a person. You are dealing with the slogans and catchphrases that have taken possession of them. This is why Bonhoeffer argued that stupidity is...
That's why I tell people to look up the Smith-Monk Act and watch the movie Wag the Dog. They gotta put a lot of shit together when it comes to this war propaganda shit.
Harder to combat than evil. A stupid person will repeat lies even after they have been disproven. They will cling to falsehoods because they are no longer thinking for themselves. And this is precisely why a stupid person cannot simply be instructed or argued out of their stupidity. They must be liberated. Until that happens, debate is pointless. But there is a way to avoid falling into this seemingly innocent trap. If stupidity is not an intellectual deficiency, but a form of mental enslavement, then how can one avoid it? How can a person ensure they do not fall into the trap of blind conformity? This is what I will...
Shit. What I just said earlier. If it comes to debating a Christian, I do not debate, because you can't battle facts with faith. But I do fuck with the conspiracy theory Christians, the Gnostic Christians, and the spiritual Christians, because the spiritual Christians fuck with meditation. That's what I do. The fucking Gnostics know that God is evil, and the conspiracy Christians is following what I'm following, watching the government and what they're doing to the people and the elites and shit. So, like, it's the brainwashed Christians that's indoctrinated, that's caught up in all the bullshit. The motherfucking condescending, judgmental Christians. Those are the ones I can't fuck with. Those are the ones that, the bullshitters.
Discuss point by point.
Crime is down.
God damn.
Jobs are up. Our economy is strong. America.
Bullshit.
This is what I will discuss point by point.
Never
Bonhoeffer
seen
warns that people become stupid when they give up their ability to question, analyze, and think independently. The first step to avoiding stupidity is to refuse to stop thinking. Always ask questions. Challenge authority when necessary. Do not accept something as true just because it is widely believed. If an idea cannot withstand scrutiny, then it is not worth believing. Stupidity is a social phenomenon. It thrives in environments where people conform without thinking. Whenever you find yourself agreeing with a group simply because it is easier, stop and ask yourself, am I thinking for myself, or am I just going along with the crowd? History has shown that when large groups of people stop questioning, disaster follows. Do not let the comfort of belonging override the necessity of truth. This same mentality was criticized by Friedrich Nietzsche, who called it herd mentality. According to both Bonhoeffer and Nietzsche, anyone who seeks to become a true intellectual, or Nietzsche's Übermensch, must reject blind conformity. Stupidity is often the result of external influences: propaganda, misinformation, and emotional manipulation. Leaders who rely on stupidity use tactics designed to bypass critical thinking. They appeal to emotions rather than reason. They promote simplistic explanations for complex problems. They discourage independent thought and label dissent as dangerous. If an idea is presented in a way that discourages questioning, it is likely designed to manipulate, not to inform. Stupid people gravitate towards simple, black and white explanations, but reality is complex. The truth is often inconvenient, uncomfortable, and difficult. If an answer sounds too easy, it probably is. If a leader tells you that all your problems have a single cause, they are lying. If a movement demands unquestioning loyalty, it is dangerous. Real wisdom comes from embracing nuance and resisting the urge to oversimplify. Bonhoeffer believed that stupidity cannot be overcome through instruction. It requires liberation. People trapped in a system of manipulation and conformity must first be freed externally before they can free their minds. But true wisdom comes from internal liberation, breaking free from fear, blind loyalty, and unquestioning obedience. The only way to avoid stupidity is to commit to lifelong intellectual and moral independence. This was Bonhoeffer's theory of stupidity, a warning to all of us.
Destroy everything in the end. Lift up a band, store the bitch in your den. Then I got to do it all in revenge. Kill your family revenge. Build a figure to the elite. Motherfucker full of deceit. And I came here to put him to sleep. The fucking sheep, I have to delete. Every motherfucking NPC that keep fucking with me. My flow stay intergalactic with the blade that I'm packing. Full-time cannon, pull it straight out the jacket. Making a panic, see you run and reacting. Look at my actions, cause they're beautiful reactions. Releasing the kraken with the flow I be spitting. Fighting the government cause I'm so unforgiving. I am the wind, I will cut you the ribbons. With this wind, I can cut new beginnings. In the end, I can show you the limit. With this blade, cut through